All right, today's training is how to make $500 to $3,000 a month selling AI websites that take 5 minutes to make. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But that's our business, right? The business is broken out like this. Essentially, what we're going to do is, what's up, Cabby? We are going to structure our business just like this. Okay. And we are going to sell, again, an AI website and then ultimately other services. But the cool thing is the 500 to 3,000, that's what you can get easily just for the website. Okay. Any other services you sell at the end of this process is all just gravy. Okay. And so what we want to do is we want to structure our selling to make it easy to, for one, make it easy to make the sale, and also make it easy for us to fulfill what it is that we need to deliver. Okay. AI websites are the perfect thing for this because we can build it, as the title said, in less than 5 minutes just by typing, right? So really, really, really cool. And so what that allows us to do, it's not like the websites of old where we needed to spend weeks or months coding things, right? Or figuring all that out. We can produce a website in minutes. So what that allows us to do, instead of going to someone and saying, hey, we can build a website for you, we can instead say, hey, I've built a website for you. And that's way more powerful. Hey, I built a website for you. Do you want to take a look at it? Let me know what you think, right? Something simple. And then what that allows us to do is they can get eyes on this website. And then after that, it's really just a decision. Yes, that looks good. Yes, that sounds good. Let's do this, or no. And then you move on. But it's not like you had to spend weeks or months building this website. In fact, you can just build one website for a specific niche and then use that same website over and over and over again until you sell it, right? It's really that simple. And so in the end, you're delivering essentially a website that's pretty much 90% done, because they will end up coming back if they do want it and saying, hey, let's make these little changes here. So there'll still be some little changes that you'll make after you initially build it. But again, all that is just typing into the platform to make those changes and you rock and roll. Okay. But this is the business. Okay. We're just going to focus on this. And this gives us a structure and a process to know every day when I wake up, I know this is all that's happening. I'm going to build AI, or my business works like this. I know that every single day I wake up, my business works the same way. I will build an AI website for a business. I will then sell it. And then ultimately, whether it's right away or down the road, potentially sell them other services. That's it. Okay. And the process, strategy, if you will. So we have the business, what that looks like. What is the strategy? What is the process to make this happen? Well, it's this simple. Okay. Break it out in 3 steps. First, we are going to find a business, right? We need a business to sell the website to. We need a business to build the website for, right? Well, there's 2 ways that we can find a business. There's multiple ways, right? But these are the 2 big ways that we can easily use. That's easy to understand and can allow us to scale to the moon if we want to. Okay. Because we'll never run out of opportunities with just these 2 methods, right? The first is computers reach. Okay. All computers reach is leveraging job posting sites like Upwork, Freelancer, and looking for people, looking for posts or projects that people have posted, asking for a website. It doesn't get any easier than that. Okay. Those websites, people are posting on them every single day. Okay. Throughout the day. Something like Upwork, which is the biggest one, every few minutes, there's a new project being posted. Okay. So there's plenty of opportunities there. But even after I've exhausted those opportunities for the day, so say I've looked at everything that's come in that day and I still have time to work on my business, I can then easily go over to Google Maps in any city, in any niche, and find opportunities there. right? I could potentially reach out to all those businesses if I really wanted to. Okay. Obviously, the computer's reach, that's a way warmer audience. That's a hotter, easier sale to close, higher conversion rate, because those people are already asking for help and they have money, right? We already know that. Those are undisputed facts. They've already said, I need a website. And by the way, I have money to pay for it. Okay. So that's your best place to start. And then we can scale using Google Maps, because looking at Google Maps, I can't just tell if that person is looking for a new website, if they want to rebuild their old website. Yes, I can start looking at all their website. I can click the website button and look at it and say, all right, this one looks way old. Okay, this is a great candidate. I'll reach out to them. But even people with new websites or newer looking professional, like a website we might think looks professional, we don't know if they want to rebuild or not. Okay. So we can kind of narrow it down by looking and then seeing, all right, does this look like an older website? Or I can look for Google Map profiles, Google business profiles that don't have the website link listed. Okay. So for whatever reason, Google couldn't find a website for them. It doesn't necessarily mean they don't have a website, but that's a great door opener, right? That's a great conversation starter for me to reach out to. Okay. And that helps narrow it down. So I'm not just blindly reaching out to everybody. Okay. But bottom line is I'm going to find a business and, you know, whether it can start in these places here. Once I found the opportunity, I'm going to offer my services, right? I do that by delivering a demo, right? That's my trial. That's my results first trial that we talked about. I show them a completed website, right? And then the goal there is to make the sale. Have them say, yes, I want that. Okay. And then all that happens then is we provide the service, right? We deliver the final website. And that's taking the changes that they want, making those updates, and then putting that website on a domain, and then handing over that, basically handing over the final product, which doesn't necessarily mean it's physically handed over. It just means it's up and ready. And there's different ways that may happen. The client may say, hey, I want to be able to have access to this. I can then give them access through my AI software, have it build an admin login if I wanted to. Or they just say, cool, the website's done. I want it managed or whatever. And I can charge them a monthly hosting, something like that. Okay. And that can be real cheap. And that's all. That's it right there. That's the process over and over and over again. Okay. The overhead on this is pretty much non-existent. It's pretty much non-existent on this business because the website, right? If I'm using a software like Level, which I'll show you here in just a second, I can get started with $0. Okay. Now, that could potentially limit me where I reach a cap on how much I can do with a $0 plan, but the next level up is $25 a month. Okay. So even if I upgrade, it's super cheap. If I provide the domain, I'm looking at $9. If I get a domain for my demo site, which I may do, I may build one demo site and call it plumberdemosite.com, right? I might just put that URL on it, and then I can use that to reach out to all my plumbers, all my plumbing prospects, right? I could do something like that, right? Or I can just have a domain that I just use that's generic, right? Anyway, I'm looking at $9 a year for that. $9 to get started. Sometimes they upgrade for, they renew after the year for a little bit more expensive than that. But with Namecheap, GoDaddy, I can get going with like $8 to $9. Okay. For my prospecting or proposal scripts, if I want, I can actually have AI write that for me, produce those things for me. And there's $0 plans with those. You can use Grok, you can use Claude, you can use whatever you want. Okay. But that's going to cost you nothing. Yes, those things do have paid plans, but you can get started with $0 on all of them. And then the prospecting on Upwork and Google Maps, it's essentially free for you to scan those sites. Google Maps is completely free. Upwork, it'll cost you credits. And again, you'll end up reaching a cap on your credits, and then eventually you'll potentially upgrade, which I think is somewhere between 20 to 40 bucks a month. Something like that. It gives you the next level up. Again, we're talking minimal overhead for what I can sell these websites for, right? So do I have another? And what does that look like? How much can I sell these websites for? Well, as I said, with the title, I'm looking at $500 to $3,000. So more than covers my overhead. Easy. This is a very high profit margin business. And what's up with the price range? You can easily sell. This is a minimum price range. You can easily and confidently and comfortably sell any website in this range, 500 to 3,000. Why? Because historically, businesses have paid anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 for websites. Okay, so it's already a high value proposition based on what the market has typically dictated, right? So I can easily slide in 500, 3,000. Now, in that range, what should you charge? That's based on your confidence level. Some projects you may say, all right, well, this is $1,000 versus a 3,000. In the end, any site that you produce, you could sell it for 500, 1,000, 1,500, all the way up to 3,000. And that's going to be based on your confidence. Okay. If you're nervous and like, oh, this is my first one and I don't know, that seems like a lot of money. Well, then start with 500. But if you're already at the level where you say, man, $3,000 is a great price for a website, because I know someone that I looked at websites before and they were like $8,000. Or I have a friend that knew it was like $10,000. Once you realize what the market has priced websites at, you'll have no problem asking for up to $3,000 for these websites. There's people already selling these for $7,000. Okay. We have proof in the group that has happened. Okay. And that's just here. So in the end, it's just your confidence level. So start at the low end. Once you sell a site or two at 500, then bump it up to 1,000 the next time. Okay. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate this. And then services, I'm not really diving into the services in this training, in this video, but we know we have a range of services that we can offer. And those are typically reoccurring monthly services that help with digital marketing, right? Help businesses get more reviews, help businesses get more leads, help businesses get more sales and customers. And those can pay us anywhere from $200 to $2,500 a month, depending on how many of those services we sell and which ones we do sell. Okay. In the end, the services is the next logical step after selling the website. So it makes a nice, easy transition, a nice bridge from the website into services to start the conversation. All right, now that the website's done, just out of curiosity, what are you doing right now for advertising? Are you doing anything that's going to bring in some eyeballs that's going to see your new site and attract some new customers? If not, I have some services that could be helpful for that as well if you're interested in having a discussion. It's an easy transition. And they just bought a website from you. Of course, majority of them are going to be fine for the discussion about marketing services. And for the ones it's not, cool. Check in on them down the road. Who cares? They're now tied to you. They're latched on to you because you now have a relationship with them. Okay. Check in on them in 90 days. Right? It doesn't have to be 90. I just pulled a number out. It could be 30, it could be 60, it could be 120, whatever it is. But you can check on them down the road. Hey, Kevin, just want to check in. How's the website treating you? How are things going? Right? How's business? It's so easy, and there's nothing scuzzy or scammy about it, right? It's just an easy transition. All right. So that's the business. Let's just look really quick. I think that was it. Yeah. All right. Let's look at a quick demo. I haven't done a demo in a while. So let's just look at what this process looks like. Let's go back over here. this, right? Let's get into this. We're going to find a business, and then we'll demo out what the build of the site would be, and then building a script to reach out to them to offer that website to them. Okay. All right. So let's do that. Let's go over here. Over here. Okay. So let me share. And then once I'm done all this, I'll handle questions. All right. All right. Let's go. Boom. All right. So let's just go to freelancer.com. Again, you can use any site, upwork.com, guru.com. Tons of computers reach types of websites. There's even stuff out there like Thumbtack that you could look at. But in the end, they all pretty much work the same. Is we're going to find some work. In this case, website jobs. And typically you would want to search for newest. Okay. And then all I'm looking for, some sites are better at this than others. I'm not looking for, I want simplicity. Okay. I don't want this. I don't know what the hell this is. Caterpillar styled HTML log. I'm not digging in and reading all this, but I want it to be so simple to understand, right? That I'm not guessing on what's going on here. I'm literally looking for people who want a website or website rebuild. That's it. Okay. Now, again, it doesn't mean I couldn't do some of these things. I can read, but let's just keep it simple. Like here we go. This person has an existing business website. Now, some of these for the existing, they may want you to just fix what they currently have, but doesn't mean that they potentially would not be open to a new site. Okay. Let's see here. Let's just see if we can just find a quick. This might be one. They're looking for a certain theme and WordPress. These people, when people ask for specific types of sites, like WordPress or a Wix or whatever, it's just simply because that's what they know. That's what they're aware of and what they think that they should have. And it's usually based on features or something that they want. Oh, okay. Well, I know WordPress websites are good for this, right? More times than not, the AI tools that we use are going to accomplish whatever it is that they need. Okay. But again, let's just look for something. Let's just look for something super simple. Okay. We're going to rent a boyfriend Weber app. Okay. That could be interesting. All right. So here we go. Let's just say that this is the person, right? Or this is something that we're going to look at. This person actually needs an agency website. They want a actual digital marketing agency website. Let me see if I can click on this without it having me log in. Okay, perfect. Okay. Now again, this is an India client. You may just focus on the US or whatever countries you want to. I typically only focus on US or UK, Australia, Canada, stuff like that. But you can work with any business in anywhere. Okay. Well, let's just say this is a job that I'm interested in doing because look, they're asking for a website. Okay. That's simple. That's all I'm looking for. I just want someone to say, I'm looking for a website. Okay. And so in this instance, it's as easy as, all right, I'm going to use Lovable to build my AI website. Okay. And it's literally just saying, hey, tell me what you want me to build. Oops. I'll share it whenever I go there. Okay. It's just saying, hey, let's just build something. All I have to do, I could literally just type, hey, I need a website for a digital marketing agency. But in this case, I have an actual project description. So that's what I want to use. Okay. So what I always start off with is I need a website built for the following project. Okay. And I'll space down. I'm just going to go back over here and just copy it real quick. Okay, all I'm doing is copying the text. Okay, now I'm going to copy the whole text here, the whole project text. Okay. Okay, I'm going to paste it in. And now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to skim this project and remove anything that doesn't really have to do with building the website. Okay. That either doesn't give background about what they're looking for or contribute directly. And I'll show you what I mean with that. So, hey, my digital website, the website should feel clean. Okay, that's all important. I want Lovable to know that before it builds the website because that's the look and feel that they're after. here's what they're saying. Hey, must feel responsive design, blah, 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 look and feel. It's saying exactly how he wants the site. The vibe should be this. The site should support this. The timeline doesn't mean anything to Lovable. They don't care about that. Okay. So let's just delete that. Okay. When you reply, point me to blah, blah, blah. We'll address this in a second. He's saying live examples. You might be saying, whoa, I don't have examples. Cool. Okay. Delete that. And then deliverable is a fully built live site. Oh, okay. So we'll just delete that. He's saying, yeah, when you deliver it, I want the whole thing. This is him saying what he would expect after he awards the project to you. We haven't been awarded the project. Okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to respond to him and not say that we could do this. We are going to respond to him and say, look what we've built already for you based on what you were asking for. Okay. Here's what we can do. All right. So now I've got pretty much everything that he's kind of asking for about the website, the look and feel. And I've said, hey, I need a website built for the following project. I'm just going to hit enter. Okay. And this is all I have to do. Lovable is now going to do all the work for me to put together this website based on what the project is asking for. Okay. Again, I don't have to know code. I don't have to be a technical wizard. I just needed to know how to copy and paste. Okay. I can't stress enough how simple this is. Okay. Even when there's like stuff to do with it, like it's not hard. It's just typing, saying, hey, here's what I want. Now, what we're going to end up doing, again, remember the strategy is we will submit a proposal, and in that proposal, or a project proposal through Freelancer, we will actually have a link to the website in it saying, hey, here, it's our results first approach. We're actually going to show them a link to the website so they can see it. Okay. That addresses in the project when he said, hey, I'm going to need to see some examples. Because typically the way this works is people would say, yeah, I can do that for you. I'm a veteran in the web design industry and whatever, all this blah, 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 or I'm a technical wizard with coding and all this stuff. And I can definitely do that for you. They just talk of what they could do. So historically, people have to put in the projects is, hey, can you show me some examples before I just blindly award this thing to you? Okay. That's why they ask for it. Not because it's a very strict, okay, we always have, they're asking because they want to know who they're working with in terms of the quality and output. That's why this approach is so much better than everyone else. And why it also eliminates the need for us to provide examples, because we are actually providing the site that they are asking for up front. Okay. Again, I say a 90% solution because he hasn't provided, or they haven't provided their content that they kind of want added to the site and all that. They're going to, obviously have some potential changes and whatnot. After they see the site, they're like, okay, yeah, I want to make this change and this change. And so in the end, they will have a 90% done solution based on what they wanted. So they don't need to see it. They're literally going to be looking at the live website. Okay. So that's what separates us from everyone else. And that's why it also eliminates the need for all this proof, that social proof that used to be required, to get some real leeway, get some real snowball momentum going in the industry. Okay. Which tripped up a lot of people because they were always like, oh, what do I do about this and that? The cool thing is our approach eliminates that. Worst case scenario, guess what I could also do? As you can see, we're what, minutes? I've been talking for just a few minutes and the site is actually done. It's loading now. The preview's loading now. What's really cool is it took me minutes to build this site. If I wanted to build a portfolio, I can take an extra 15 minutes and build 2 to 3 more sites. Boom, done. Okay. So the portfolio problem is solved. The social proof problem is solved because I have the tool that can produce not only what it is they're looking for, but I can build all the social proof I want from it as well. Okay. All right. So while this is loading and doing, it's actually load. I probably just need to refresh or something here. Let me just see. Okay. It's still doing its little thing here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let me move the, look at this. Awesome. Look at this. Oh my goodness. So awesome. Okay. So in the end, we've delivered this beautiful, this beautiful website has been delivered or has been built in minutes. And I needed to do nothing for it. Okay. It has pages, typically Lovable specifically, or for sure, will typically build a one-page scroll site, but I could easily tell Lovable, hey, I want each of the links to have their own individual page. Okay, so just know that I can tell it to do whatever I want it to do. Okay, but I have the site. This is literally built based on what they are looking for. So all I need to do now is just publish. Okay. And then I can name this whatever I want. I can call this whatever I want. I would typically name it, there's some kind of name in the project or something, or a company name specifically is what I would be looking for to build it. If not, I might just put the niche, digital DMA for digital marketing agency, or I can spell out digital marketing, whatever. Whatever I change the name to, let's just say it's Warm Amber Studio, whatever. This link, whenever I hit continue and publish, will publish on this link. Okay. That is the link that I'll then be able to put in the proposal. Now, if you're saying to yourself, oh, it says lovable.app, I don't want them to see it. What if they see Lovable and then they just do? Okay, we have all these fears and worries. First and foremost, I've never in the history of doing this since 2012 lost a potential client because they seen some kind of software or tool that I needed, that I was using. Okay. However, I understand the fear. So what I can do is easily add a custom domain, like I talked about initially. I can go buy a domain called yourdemosite.com, something like that, off Namecheap or GoDaddy. And literally just by clicking this, okay, it'll walk me through the steps to hook up this website to that domain. And then I can just share that domain, okay? And I can put a little name. It'll be just like this. It would be yourdemosite.com, and then I would be able to put whatever I want in front of it. So I could put digital marketing agency, DMA 1.yourdemosite.com. And all that is just me clicking this and it's saying, all right, what's the domain? I would grab the domain name that I bought in Namecheap or GoDaddy, paste it in there, and then it'll ask me, okay, what kind of subdomain do you want? What name do you want me to put in front of it? And that's it. And then I can use that same domain for any client. I just change that front part. So this is DMA. Maybe the next one's a plumber. It's Jack's Plumbing. Okay, cool. Whenever I build their demo site, I can use the same domain, but I would put jacksplumbing.yourdemosite.com. And I can keep doing that for every client. So I can buy one domain for $9 and keep reusing it over and over and over again if I'm worried about the Lovable. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Okay. So anyway, publish. And I would continue walking through and publishing it. And then all I need to do now is come up with my prospecting script, my proposal script to submit through Freelancer. Okay. And I can use ChatGPT for that. Okay. Okay. So how would I do that? Well, same thing. I need a Freelancer proposal script. I'm going to say freelancer.com so it knows I'm using that site. Proposal script for the following project. I have also already built a demo website for them to based on their project that I want to highlight in my proposal. Okay. So what do you think I'm going to paste here? Well, I'm going to go back and copy the project. Okay. Again, this time I'm going to leave the whole thing. Okay. And then I forgot, let me get the name. Okay. So I'm going to leave the entire project in here because I want when it builds the proposal, I want in this case ChatGPT to know exactly everything that they said in their actual project, so that it can make sure that it addresses anything that they wanted to cover, or that they wanted addressed or whatnot. Okay. Anyway, so I paste again, even easier. So I pasted the title and the entire project, and I'm just going to hit enter. And this is going to take less than minutes. This is going to take less than 30 seconds and it's already put it into a nice little thing here that I can actually just copy. But it's building out a nice proposal script. Now, as it tells me where to enter, I'll click to edit. Oh, wow. All kinds of new features. Anyway, bottom line is all I have to do is copy this, paste it into the freelancer when I submit my bid. Right, bid on this project. I would just go through the freelancer process of bidding on the I would just go through the freelancer process of bidding on the project. But going back to this, I have my proposal script. I would skim it. If there's anything I want to change, okay, like this right here, I might tell it, look, matter of fact, let's just do it now. Relevant work. Okay. And it's also asking me, hey, do you want a shorter version? So I have complete control over what the final product is. I can just tell it what I'm looking for, right? I could also, if there was just a couple things I wanted to change, just paste the thing in there and do my own quick edits. But in this case, I actually don't want it to include the relevant work. I actually don't want to include a relevant work section because I am new. That is why I built the demo website to show them a result first versus them questioning. Now I'm expanding on this, but I want you to understand why we do what we do, right? So you wouldn't have to expand it this long. You could just tell it, hey, remove this for this. But I want you to understand that's the thought process. I don't need relevant work because I just delivered the website. And so I want my communication on this project to reflect that. I don't want them thinking about relevant work. I'm giving them relevant work. I'm giving them the most relevant work possible, and that's their damn website, right? I'm questioning my past work, and I could say because I'm brand new, right? I should just say that work because I'm fairly new on doing these types of projects. Okay. I may say also, can you make the overall script shorter and punchier? And you're like, well, wait a minute, Jason, why are you saying that? Because they offered it. Hey, you want a shorter version, more punchy? And so I'm just saying, yeah, let's do that. Okay, cool. So now I've said, look, that's a strong move. Lead with proof, right? Let's get rid of some fluff as well. Right? And here we go. Boom. Even shorter, right? Copy, paste it in there. Make sure I paste the link. It also looks like I could put the link right here. This is all editable. Oh yeah, I can adjust it here if I wanted to. Okay. But that's it. I'm going to submit that. And then that's my process over and over and over again. I've just done that one project while teaching it. Found the one project, put everything together while teaching it. And it took us, maybe 10 minutes. I don't know, maybe a tad bit longer with all the talking and back and forth and whatnot. But in the end, say it took 10, 15 minutes. Cool. Now, what do I do now? I submitted the bid. Am I done for the day? No, I just go find the next project to bid on. And then I would do that for all the Computers Reach websites that I want to be on, right? So all I need to do is bid on the ones, say I'm on Freelancer, bid on all the ones that day that, if I'm just getting started, I might look at 2 days worth of projects. Okay, maybe 3 days if I want to. Okay, but tomorrow when I go and I'm able to start working for the day and I go to Freelancer, Am I going to look at 3 days worth of projects? No, because I already did that the day before. I'm just looking at whatever has come in from the last time, right? There might only be one project to bid on. Cool, I bid on it. I'm done on Freelancer for the day. Now it's just waiting to hear back from people. So I also now maybe go to Upwork. And the same thing. The first day I sign up and join Upwork and I start doing this, I might look at 2 to 3 days worth of projects. Okay. Upwork, there's way more volume. So I might only look at 2 days worth. Then tomorrow, the next day, right, when I'm sitting down working, do I look at 2 to 3 days worth of projects? No, I just look at whatever's been posted since the last time. So what I'm getting at is the prospecting process speeds up drastically. So I could potentially go through all the Freelancer projects, all the Upwork projects, all the guru.com. Thumbtack's a little different. It comes as you kind of post yourself, and then as a project comes in, you get a chance to bid on it, so it notifies you. So it's a little bit different, but these computers reach type websites, I can go and look at whatever's come in, and then I'm done for the day. Like I can do all my prospecting on computers reach projects in less than 30 minutes most times. And it's up to 30 minutes based on me actually submitting some stuff. That means I'm actually looking at everything and being able to submit on some projects. Okay. And then that leads us to the next spot. What if I exhaust that for the day and I still have time to work on my business? Okay. That's when I go to the Google Maps, right? That's what we talked about. That gives me the scale. I have unlimited amounts of businesses to reach out to. And guess what? The process is the same, except for they're not posting a project. But I know what kind of business they are. I actually know their company. I can build the demo website or based around them, right? It works the same way. I tell Level to build a website based for that. And then when I'm asking ChatGPT to produce something for me, well, it's not a freelancer proposal script. It's probably a cold email script or a cold call script, right? Something like that, or a LinkedIn script, LinkedIn messaging script, or a Facebook messaging script, or an Instagram messaging script, whatever I want to reach out, whatever method I want to reach out to them on. Okay. But the process is still the same. It doesn't matter where I found them on Upwork or I found them in Google Maps. Build the demo site, send it to them, and I wait to hear back. If they say yes, cool. Price is $500 to $3,000 based on my confidence level. They're going to give me the changes and updates that they want. Did I just lose the signal? Why would I do that? Why would that happen? 500, they're going to give me the changes that they want. Guess what? How do I do that? Well, Jason, oh crap. They tell me they want this, this, and this. The same way you built the site. Copy what they said, smack it in there, paste, and say, go. Hey, the client wants the following changes to the website. Paste, enter, done. Okay. And then payments done. And then after that, again, I have the relationship. So I'm either, again, I can do a nice, easy transition pivot. Okay, cool. There you go. A quick question. What are you currently doing are you doing anything currently for marketing or advertising? How are you getting new eyeballs to the website? I have services that help in that area as well. If that's something you're interested in discussing, if you're down for a conversation, we can chat tomorrow if that works for you. Boom. Easy transition. If they say I'm not interested or not right now, I'm good. Cool. Hey, no worries. Take care, right? I could ask them for the referrals or whatever like that. I can do that kind of thing. But guess what? Again, I can check on them down the road. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120, whatever I want. 90 days later, I can give them a ring, right? Send them a message. Hey, Kevin, how you doing, man? Just want to check in on the site. How are things going for you? How is business? Anything you guys are struggling with? Everything looking good? You know what, man? Website's doing great, but I'd be interested in hearing about those marketing services you talked about. Business is kind of slowed. Turns out we might want to start doing something. Yeah, cool. How about we talk tomorrow? I have the relationship. I can visit it anytime. They're tied to me. So I can get future business from them directly and or again, referrals, right? But that's the process over and over and over again. I do that once a month where close a deal once a month. I have $500 to $3,000 a month coming in just from the website. Any reoccurring marketing services that I sell on top of that start stacking. So month one, $500, say I sell a website, and maybe I get $200 review management. Cool. Month two, $500. I sell another website for $500. I got $500. And then I sell another review management, $200, plus the $200 from the first month. Now I made $900 that month. And then stacks and stacks. Maybe next time I sell $1,000 lead gen service, right? Or a $500 a month message marketing campaign service or whatever, right? SEO, 1,000. It starts stacking and snowballing. And that's how I build a sustainable business, by having a simple but effective process to follow day in and day out, stay consistent with. I wake up every day and I know exactly what I'm doing. And that's it.